Cat Lady Yoga. My name is Regina. We have Snuggles right here at the computer with me, and Phoebe is behind me on the mat. Pardon me. So we are glad to be here with you. Let me introduce you to Snuggles real fast. Here's our little guy. Yeah. And Phoebe is already on the mat. She heard her name and looked this way. So welcome. This is Yin Yoga this morning. And we will begin in caterpillar pose. If you're not familiar with that, it's okay. I'll be showing you exactly where we're going, what we're doing. If you have props already available and ready to go, fantastic. If not, you may want to grab some props and they can be improvised. So it can be couch cushions, bed pillows, blankets from the bed, any kind of a sturdy support that could substitute for a block. So those kind of things. So if you don't have them, feel free to pause, go get them and come back and start the video again. All right, let me move back here to my mat. So with caterpillar, we're taking a seated forward fold and the legs are long in front of us. Now in a yin class, you can let the legs fall naturally. So you don't need to keep the feet flexed and the kneecaps lifting toward the thighs. You can just let them go slack and be in a natural state. From here, if your lower legs, if your hips and the back of your legs are just not comfortable, you can do a couple of things. One, take a thin support of some kind. This is just a little toss pillow I have. Slide the edge of it under the edge of your sitting bones. So you're not actually sitting on the whole cushion like you would for a cushion's sake, but you're using it just to take the pelvis into a forward tilt, which is going to give you relief and help to support your low back. And then another option is to take some kind of a prop, and it can be a rolled up blanket, it can be little pillows underneath your knees, right? And so this keeps a softness behind the knees. The legs are not completely flat, and it can make things more comfortable. If this is still not enough, feel free to bend the knees enough that even your feet are flat, and then you just hinge forward from your hips and rest on your legs. Or if that's still not good, you can even take a prop between your torso and your legs. So those are a few ways that you can come into the pose. If none of those feel right in your body, then keep experimenting. Release any judgments or expectations. Just be curious. Notice what your body is communicating back to you, and then honor you. So if it needs to be a little different from what I've demonstrated, then that's what would work best for you. Now, as you come into your forward fold, you may want to just come and hang out on your arms, but you could also, a little setup I like to take is a couple of blocks on each side of my legs. Those are mine. And then a prop across. And then this gives me a place to rest and brings the floor up to me. So find what feels right for you. It can be any combination of props. You can add more, you can build it up, you can take it closer, you can take it further away. And make sure you're moving forward from your hips versus your waist. And then come into stillness. So with yin, we hold our poses for time. This is what allows us to get into that connective tissue that creates stagnation and rigidity in the joints, and can create some discomfort as well, if not some significant pain. So come into the pose and then come into stillness. Guide your awareness to your breath and focus on each inhalation and each exhalation. Keeping the breath at your focus allows you to have an anchor with that focal point. Now, this being our first posture of the morning, we will hold it a little bit longer than we will the others. But that being said, you may want to start out higher, give your body a chance to begin to create more space, and then move further down in the pose. So those are options. If you're making that transition from one position to the other, Then give yourself 5 to 10 breaths in the first option, and then ask yourself, can I take this deeper? Is my body open enough and asking for more? If it is, that's when you would exhale deeper into the pose. If it's not, then stay where you are with a grateful heart and allow yourself to enjoy the benefits of not being pushed into something your body's not ready for. If you'd like to move deeper into your pose and you haven't done that yet, maybe now you can be inquisitive and look into making that adjustment. We'll come into our last 10 breaths, slow, deep, steady breaths. After your last breath, bring the hands in close and slow. Everything is moved. We move slow through yin. Inhale, bring the body up, nice and easy. Once you get to the top, just take a moment, allow the spine to settle in, and then move your props. You can bring the hands behind you, bend your knees, and we're letting the knees drop side to side. So it's a little wiper motion. Take them to one side, rotate torso to the other. Inhale through center and switch sides. Good, and then just a little movement. making our way up. We're going into butterfly. So with butterfly, again, we want the pelvis to tilt forward. Bring the soles of the feet toward one another. And if they don't connect, you can always take a block in between them so they have an anchor, or not. You could, if you don't have a block, use a pillow. So if you need something, you could do that. The heels can come in as close or be as far away from your torso and from your groin as you would like, whatever feels best in your body. And then take a moment and move through your knees, get a little movement here, nothing too significant or stressful. And if there's a lot of space and discomfort between the knee and the floor, you can always take a prop underneath. And it could be rolled blankets, rolled towels, whatever you have handy and will serve the purpose. And you can always take a couple of different size towels or 2 towels of the same size, whatever you need, and roll them together to create the thickness and the depth that you need. You can roll, fold, whatever fits you. All right, so this is your butterfly posture. And then we will have the option to take it into a fold, so you can keep your other props close by in the event you would like to come into that forward fold. Find a feather. One of these pillows has feathers in it. I think one fell out. Did you really eat that? Yes, he did. I don't see it. All right. So again, we want to move from our hips. So here's the difference. So if we move, find your waist. If you were to fold forward from your waist, it looks something like this. And if you put your hand, one hand in the back, that low back, you'll feel how it moves out. So sit up tall, guide your hands to the waist, bend at the waist, and you can feel how that pops out, and it's compromised. So that's not going to support you, and it's not going to feel good in the long run. So if you move from the crease of the hips instead, and you keep that hand back there, you can feel how when you move, it stays in line and it stays supported. And that's what we're looking for. Now, once we've come forward, if we want to drop the shoulders, you can keep a hand on the low back, and you can tell that even though you drop your shoulders, the low back is still in place. It's not pushing out, and that's where you know it's supported. So really important piece of information to help you stay safe and to get the most out of your practice. All right. So once you find where you're going to be, come into stillness, return to your breath. Notice the depth of the breath in. See if you can bring it deeper into the belly. Maybe you begin to lengthen your exhalation. So a longer exhale than the inhale is very soothing to the parasympathetic nervous system, very healing. It helps us to release the fight, flight, fright that our bodies can hold on to indefinitely. Which is not healthy, right? When we're in that high alert state with all that stress and the fight, flight, fright, the adrenal glands are just overproducing cortisol, and then that just leads to bigger problems down the road. So we need these reprieves. We need these times to release that and to come into a state of deeper relaxation, deeper rest. So even though in yin, we want to be comfortably uncomfortable, we want to feel the effects. We don't want to be in pain. So if there's sharp stabbing or burning pain, ease out of the pose. That's counterproductive. It's not going to help you. Or if you're not feeling anything at all, if you're in a total state of relaxation, that's fine if that's where you need to be. And you could definitely do that with any of these poses that I'm offering you today. And if that's your end goal, then please do that. But if your end goal is to experience yin, to come into that place where you are creating a little gentle healing stress throughout the body in the various poses, so that your body releases the connective tissue, creates more space, and gives you release in that stagnant energy, then there's your difference, right? So choose the pose, take it where you want it to be, and yeah, just give yourself permission to do that, to be you, and to give yourself what you need. As you're in your pose and you're focusing on your breath, maybe bring to mind something in your life you'd like to see blossom, to grow and flourish in some way. And this is still the season of spring. That when I'm recording this, we're not far from summer, but it is still spring. So it's really a good time to reconsider something in our lives that we'd like to grow and flourish, and then nurture it through our thought process in our practice today. So sometimes, just like the health, when you have flowers growing in the garden, the health of the soil is going to depend on how well they grow. They need sun, they need water. And if they don't have these various elements, then they're going to be stagnant. They're not going to grow or blossom and flourish the way they could under the proper circumstances. And the same thing with ourselves and in our lives. So really think for a moment and bring to mind, usually it's the first thing that pops into our mind, that we want to see flourish and to grow, for it to be healthy. And give yourself permission to let it be, because often our own thoughts and our own actions are what hold us back from seeing that through to fruition, to full growth and the beauty of it. So last 5 breaths in your current position with your butterfly. And then we are going to add a little lateral movement. All right, and as you finish your last breath, inhale to bring the body up. Set your props to the side. You can bring a block or something to the side if you would like. I'm thinking I'm going to go without. I'm just going to. So we're moving into a little lateral move. You'll bring a hand out to the side. Hey, baby girl. Inhale your right arm. Exhale to your left side. Now, if this is not a comfortable distance, bring a prop of whatever kind you need in. You can bring your forearm onto it. You can keep your hand on it. But we want our hips to stay down and our chest open, so we're not dropping forward and we're not pulling back per se either, unless you get there and you're like, oh, this is where I feel like I need to be. Then, of course, honor that. But the intent here is to move laterally. So we're getting that really nice stretch from the hip all the way through the underarm, maybe through the tricep, if that feels right. If this extension is not feeling good, you can always bend the elbow and just let the hand rest behind the head. Be careful not to push the head forward. We're just placing the hand. That nice stretch. Notice your jawline. Make sure it's gentle, not clenched closed. And the brow is soft, unfurled. Last 5 breaths. After your 5th breath, very slowly, inhale up. Release your arm. Pause at the top. Feel the difference. Be aware of the differences in your sides. Notice how more open your right side is. And then when you're ready, we'll switch sides. Inhale and exhale across. You may need a little higher or lower level of support on the second side. And last 5 breaths. And after your 5th breath, inhale brings you back up. And release your arm. Pause and feel both sides of your body. Inhale, let the arms sweep up. Whoops. Interlace the fingers and send the palms skyward. Grow tall up out of your hips. And exhale, palms meet and slide through heart center. And move your head to one side. Inhale through center, exhale other side. And inhale to bring the head up. All right, we are going to get a little movement here. Very slowly and carefully bring one leg up and the next. Lengthen legs for a moment. Hands come behind you. Just pedal out your legs. Move through your ankles. And we are moving into our next posture, which is thread the needle or eye of the needle. Actually, I think we'll skip that. Well, let's just go to swan. So we're moving into swan pose. Mr. Snugglebug, you're going to need to move, my love. All right. So let me come forward and show y'all facing the camera, and then I'll move the other way onto the mat. All right, so from here, watch out, baby. All right, so we can let's take a little ripple through the spine. So you're in hands and knees, right? Tabletop, knees under the hips, heel, hands under the shoulders. Make sure you spread the fingers and anchor down through your palms and your knuckles. Inhale, ripple up. Let the tailbone lift first and then up through the chest. And then tuck the tailbone round the spine. Bring chin toward chest. And one more. So we'll be stepping right foot forward. The hips move forward and down. We'll start here in this little dragon lunge. We'll take a few breaths. And then we will guide the foot across to the other side, bringing the knee down behind your right wrist. So what's really important to remember here is that we don't want to drop over onto this hip. We want to make sure it's supported. So take whatever prop you have available that will work. It can be a combination of props. Anything that keeps your hips squared so you don't drop over. If you drop over, then you compromise your back. You end up with a lot of pain in your low back, and it's defeating your purpose of being in the pose. So be very mindful of that. And then I'll take a moment to turn around and show you from the front. So we start with the lunge. Begin to open the hip flexor on the back leg. And then we take the foot across. And this is what the swan looks like from the front. Okay. All right. So come into your pose. Use whatever props you need. sure you've given yourself at least 5 breaths in your dragon pose. And then come down into the sleeping position. So just coming down onto your forearms. And if this isn't comfortable, you can always use block or blocks to bring the floor up so you're not as low. And come back to those nice, deep, slow, steady breaths, knowing that you're doing great things for your gallbladder and liver meridians. So I switched legs. When I was demonstrating for y'all, I was using my left leg just so that it would mirror image as right for you. But I really, as you, should start with the right leg. So I've made that transition for myself. You don't need to change legs at this time. 5 more breaths on this side. After your 5th breath, very slowly inhale the body up. Take your time as you ease your hips back and bring your right leg underneath you. And then maybe you'd like to extend the leg and let the blood flow. When you are ready, step your left leg forward. Start in your low lunge. So you should go there and hang out for at least 5 breaths. If you do a lot of walking or exercises for the abdomen, this dragon lunge and then coming into swan can really feel nice. At least it does for me. So I've been doing more and more walking. I've gotten away from it in the recent years, and I used to do it almost daily, and then I got away from it. But with my cortisol levels being far too high for far too long, and living in that state of fight, flight, fright, I'm learning that walking, a stroll, not a quick walk, but a stroll, is actually the best exercise. It helps to lower the cortisol levels. So I've been doing more of it. And actually, my husband and I took a little walk yesterday, and we ended up being on and walking for an hour. We were quite exhausted when we got back, even though it was a slow walk. That was a long distance for us, something we haven't done in quite a while. So I felt it in my hip flexors this morning. Funny how that works. But yeah, so this may feel really nice. Again, if anything is sharp stabbing or burning, we want to come out of it. But if you're just comfortably uncomfortable, then that's where you want to hang out. And then bring your mind back to your breath and back to your goal of what you would like to grow and nurture in today, maybe just for today. You know, maybe seeing the bigger picture is just too intense. So maybe think about what you can do just for today that will help you with your long-term goal. And don't worry about the big picture just yet, but just focus on what can I do today that will move me in that direction, just for today. All right, last 5 breaths. So much of our goal today with our poses is to activate and to move the energy through the liver and gallbladder lines, the meridian lines. The liver relates to the emotions of anger, frustration, resentment. And when these emotions are channeled wisely, then it allows us to clear that energy out and help us to be more creative. And so hence our thoughts about what is it that I want to grow in my life and in my, for this day, right? What can I do today to grow and to move toward my goals? And so as we move this stagnant energy out of the liver and gallbladder energy lines, then it allows us to be more creative and to accomplish our goals with a little more clarity, a little more ease. So as we are finished with those breaths, bring the hands in, bring the body up, and move your props. Hey, sweet girl. Yeah. Bring the leg under you first and create stability in the body. Then you can look at extending that leg behind you. Reach out through the heel. Right. And then we're rolling over onto our back for banana asana. So with banana asana, you may need a prop over your head for your arms. If you don't, that's okay, but you shouldn't need anything for your legs. Not that I can perceive anyway. Bring this in because I just might need that for that arm. All right. So bend the knees, roll the body down. Once you're down, take a moment to feel the earth beneath you, under your feet, your hips, your shoulders, your head. All right. When you're ready, and you want some room over your head, so if you have the availability, scoot yourself down so that you have that room overhead. All right, we lengthen our legs. Take a full body stretch. And then walk, you can exhale, release. Walk your legs over to your right. If you need to scoot your body left so you have room, do that. And then you can hook your ankles or not. Slide your shoulders to your right. Keep both shoulder blades down. We do not want a shoulder up in the air. Arms are overhead, and then you can hold one hand, can hold the other wrist. And if you have some space and it's not comfortable, take a prop under your left shoulder, left arm, whatever you need there. But you're creating this banana like a crescent moon, right? Some people refer to this as supine crescent. So whatever works for you. In Yin, it's referred to as banana asana. And breathe deeply so you really feel the ribs expand and then release. And that is where you're going to bring gentle release into the side body. So with our legs open, and our hips were open in our butterfly and swan, we're working the yin side of the leg, the inside, yin, Y-I-N, the yin side of the leg and the groin. But now we're working the yang, Y-A-N-G. The outside is the yang. So it's the active, the more energetic, the more often used side. 5 more breaths. After your 5th breath, gently and slowly inhale, arms back first, head. Unwind your legs, slowly bring the legs back through center. Maybe a full body stretch. And when you're ready, we'll move to second side. So if you need to scoot your body over to have room, bend your knees, slide your hips over, your shoulders over. Maybe you need to bring your knees into your chest for a moment and have a little release. But when you're ready, lengthen legs. Walk your legs to the left corner. Hook your ankles if that's available. Slide your shoulders to your left. Inhale your arms overhead. And exhale, soften into the pose. So the surgery I had on my left shoulder, it's been about 6 months now, still creates some resistance and severe. It's more than just a little stress. It's kind of sharp. And so I use a lot of props for that side. And whether you've had surgery or an injury or the body is just saying, hey, this is not right, and it's giving you a strong indication through the way it feels, then it's really wise for us to listen to that and to honor our bodies. The old adage of no pain, no gain does not apply here. So really let that thought process go and give yourself permission to honor yourself. Come back to those deep breaths so you're getting that nice deep stretch through the side body. If having the arms over your head doesn't feel right, then take the arms out of the equation. You can still enjoy the pose without the arms overhead. Last 5 breaths. After your 5th breath, gently inhale back to center. Bring the arms down. Move slowly Bend your knees. Square up hips and shoulders. Hug knees to chest. Maybe you reach your legs toward the sky. Maybe you let the legs fall over the torso. And then we'll move into a little spinal rotation. You can keep both legs together and drop them to your left, or you can lengthen your left leg and drop just the right leg. Your goal is to bring the right hip on top of the left as best you can. Use your props wherever you need them. Check your shoulder blades, let them stay on the earth. You might need to scoot your shoulders around and bring that right shoulder down, or use a prop underneath it. The arms can stay beside you or go overhead, whatever feels right for you. Chin can stay centered or rotate to your right. Five breaths. After your fifth breath, inhale back through center. Bring your knee into your chest, give it a hug. Set the foot down, square up your hips, and prepare for second side. So the right leg can be bent and come with the left leg over, or you can lengthen the leg. Guide the left knee in first, give it a little hug, and then exhale across. Settle both shoulders down. Maybe you take the arm overhead, maybe you don't. Five more breaths. After your 5th breath, inhale. Make sure the arms come down and the head centers. Then inhale back through center. Bring the leg in. Let both legs come in. Give them a little hug. Rock the body softly side to side. Maybe the knees circle. And when you're ready, lengthen your leg. Ouch, baby. She put her teeth on my toe. She didn't bite it, but she's like, I don't like your feet in my face. Lay the body down for your Shavasana. Settle the shoulders, the hips. Bring the arms down beside you with a little space between your torso. Palms are down for grounding, palms up for a little more release of energy and receiving of energy. So find what feels right for you. Let the legs fall naturally. Come into stillness for at least 5 breaths. Feel the earth hold and cradle you. Notice the air on your skin. Sense the energy to your right and the energy to your left. Observe the space beneath your feet. And feel the sensations and energy above your head. Feel the whole body in a state of rest. Notice sensations throughout your body. Feel whole body. And now envision your fingers moving. See it in your mind. Physically begin to move your fingers, toes, your wrists and ankles. Bend your knees when you're ready and float softly over to a side. You come to your side, pause with the knees drawn in, little fetal position. And when you're ready, gently, slowly press the body up. So as you come into your seated posture, you can pause so that you actually feel the body stack, ears, shoulders, hips. Keep the pelvis tipping forward, the low back long and supported. Use a prop under the sitting bones if you need that. All right, I am going to post a link for a mudra that would be perfect for today's practice. And that way, if you'd like to use it, you can. I'm going to close our practice here at this time. But if you want that mudra, it will be posted in the description below. And it is the Sankalpa Mudra. Sankalpa Mudra. All right. Big inhale, letting the arms softly float up. Fill your arms, heart, and mind with love and kindness for you. As palms touch, exhale to heart and share love and kindness with others. We are all priceless. Namaste. Thanks so much for hitting pause, for allowing Phoebe, Snuggles, and myself to be a part of your day and your journey. And so there's our little girl. She's down there playing with a toy. And Snuggles, you gonna turn and say goodbye? Nope, he's already napping. All right. So y'all have a fantastic day. Until next time, we'll see you again soon. If you catch this on our YouTube channel, please do subscribe. Hit the like. That helps us with our ratings. And then if you will ding the bell, you'll get a notice each time we upload or go live. And of course, share us with your friends. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.